Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the debut record from Balance Reach Dead End Diaries, out July 3rd on Out of Line Music. The album has 10 tracks and is 40 minutes in length. This is a very young and talented metalcore band from Finland, and I believe that they've been working on this record for a very long time. You can tell by listening to this album that they've been working on it for 3-4 plus years, but finally they had all the necessary tools to bring everything together and deliver this not only to their fans, but to the world. As you start listening to the album, I really believe that there are three main elements that will drive everything that is happening on this record, and that is the structure, the overall sound, and vocals. As far as structure is concerned, I wasn't surprised with their approach. They took the easiest route. They went with a very typical metalcore style structure that alternates styles, alternates sounds, alternates songs, creates these ebbs and flows throughout the record, adds fluidity to the album, adds the necessary mechanisms to engage the listener with heavier songs up top, and then alternating heaviness with melody and melancholy all the way through, keeping you engaged with the record as you go through all 10 songs. So no surprise on that front, but still an important element of the overall feel that this record has to offer. As far as overall sound is concerned, the first thing that I want to touch on is the keyboards and synthesizer. They add melody. Obviously, this record is super melodic, the band is super melodic, so no surprise there. To me, the surprise is the atmosphere that it brings to the tracks. It really expands the sound of the songs, it really permeates throughout the track. It comes in, it goes away, it comes in, it goes away. It creates a very cinematic, a very drawn out atmosphere, specifically so on the more melancholic, on the darker side of the band, on the darker side of the songs that this record has to offer. I really enjoyed that. It was a different turn, was a different twist, something that I wasn't really expecting to be used as much as it was, but it worked perfectly throughout the record. The guitars, I really enjoy the guitars. These guys have a signature sound as far as their guitars is concerned. They're very driven, they have a great melody, but they have a very driven sound to it. And in my opinion, that really defines the sound of the band and defines everything that they do. When you start listening to this album, by the time you get to the end, you start to realize that the guitars are going to be something that you're going to always connect with this band, specifically on how they sound and how they come across on every single track. As far as vocals are concerned, Alexi kills it. I love his screaming, harsher vocals, but his melodic, clean vocals are haunting, are just absolutely magnificent. And then he has the ability to understand the mood, the temperature of the song, and bring which one he needs in order to really deliver not only on the lyrics but the overall emotional baggage that the tracks have. So I love his approach. I love how he does it. The changes between them are flawless. He's really able to swing from one to the other without any abrupt changes, without changing the overall vibe of the song, just really increasing intensity and aggression and changing perhaps the look that the track has. He does it perfectly on every single song. But I absolutely love his clean vocals. I also like some of the other things that they did as far as backing vocals, adding some layers, some choirs to create some volume. They didn't do a lot of that. They left him pretty much alone throughout the record, but the times that they did was interesting. It added a different dynamic to the songs, it added a different dynamic to the record. You need that at times so that the album doesn't become monotonous, doesn't become repetitive. So I like that approach. Overall, this album confirms what I've known for a very long time. I've heard of this band a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, when they were first taking their first steps. So this album just confirms all the talent that I knew they had. But now, like I said before, with all the necessary tools around them, they're able to showcase that talent to the world. This record to me is a very good calling card as far as this band is concerned. They have the talent, now they have the album to showcase that talent. Now, as far as songs are concerned, I want to start off with Double Down. This song has a very heavy melodic start, but it feels like it's building up more as the song moves along. You really feel like it's building, even though musically the song becomes a little bit dark and somber, but even though there's that drop into that more dark side of the track, you still feel like the song is building up towards something. And in my opinion, that something is the chorus, because once the chorus hits, the song explodes. It becomes heavy both musically and vocally, and it gives the chorus a lot of energy. After the first chorus, the song stays a lot more consistent. You don't feel like that drop. You don't feel like that there's that gaining momentum. The song becomes a lot more level, a lot more consistent. It levels out, it merges those two worlds together, and it stays that way all the way through. Very interesting structure, very interesting approach for this song. Next is Show You the Sun. I really like this track. It has a really cool hooky chorus, has a beautiful opening, even before you get to the chorus, has a beautiful opening, really mellow with the clean vocals. The clean vocals sound very haunting, and that to me is something that stayed with me throughout this track. The aggression kicks in, and the song becomes a lot bigger. You feel like there's this sense of destroying everything around it with aggression and intensity. It just gets bigger and bigger. The volume just increases exponentially. It drops back again into the chorus. The chorus, you feel like there's a huge drop in intensity and aggression, and the chorus becomes a lot more melodic, and that helps being so hooky, because that's the thing that you take away from this song, is how hooky the chorus is. And that comes, in my opinion, from the melody that it has, from drop in intensity, but also from the simplicity of the lyrics. That helps you remember the lyrics, it helps you remember the chorus, it helps you sing along, and it adds that pattern, that hookiness pattern to it that's really important in a song like this. The song that really offers a blend of melody, melancholy, and aggression all the way throughout. It's just that you never know which one is going to peak its head, but all three elements are together from the beginning all the way to the end. They just alternate times in terms of which one jumps into the forefront. There's sometimes where the song becomes more melancholic, there's sometimes when the song becomes more intense, and then there's sometimes where the song becomes a lot more aggressive. So all three are blended perfectly from the beginning all the way to the end. You perhaps notice that blend a lot more in the second half of the song, but I feel like it's there all the way from the beginning. It's just which one alternates its main focus, its main presence within the track itself. Last but not least, Bad Blood, a song that has a great underlying melody to it. This is, like I said, a super melodic album, but the underlying melody in this song is absolutely incredible. Very driven, very powerful song, a song that blasts all the way through. It has this sense of blasting through with melody, both musically and vocally. The two really match up well together. The aggression and intensity that the song has happens more in the verses versus the chorus. I really feel like there's a interchange there, but that dynamic is really important. The transition between the two is smooth, so while one has a little bit more than the other, the transition between them is extremely smooth, so you don't really feel a huge drop. You feel like the song is very continuous, has a very continuous approach, even though there is a change in terms of aggression and melody between the verses and the chorus. It's there, but not like a huge drop between the two. So it's a very continuous, it's a very cohesive track all around that gives you a sense of just moving along very well, flows very well. In the last third of the track, there's a choir that comes in that slows down the song, that really pumps the brakes. And that to me was a nice change, because you don't see that on any other song on the album. So to throw in a choir, pump in the brakes, stop a song that up until that point is very fluid, it really has a nice movement to it. It changes everything. It resets the track. It allows you to just get prepared for how the song closes off. And the song closes off as it starts. It has the same feel, the same approach, both musically and vocally. Great track. I really like the dynamics, and I really like the structure that it has. This is it. This is Balance Breach with End Diaries. Once again, out July 3rd on Out of Line Music. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.